All right. I believe we are live. What's up, y'all? My name is Amir Zen. I'm here right now with the wonderful Adam Williams. And tonight we are going to be having a nice debate on keto, carbohydrates, carnivore, what's right, what's wrong. We're also going to be chatting about fitness styles, working out, and figuring out what is the best workout styles. Is it weightlifting, calisthenics, something in the middle? And me and Adam, who have a lot of experience in these topics and revolve our businesses around them, are going to be having a very fun conversation. Adam, how you doing tonight, bro?
We're going to have a riveting conversation. I'm doing fantastic, man. Wonderful to be here with you as always. Thank you.
Yep, I am very happy to see you again here on the stream. And if you are watching this now, I'm streaming multiple times a week across platforms: Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We're on Instagram, Facebook with Adam right now. Even
testing. You guys hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah, they say they do not hear you. Thank you all for letting us know over there. And right now, I'm just checking all the other chats. Boom. All right, just checking all the other streams right now to make sure that they are playing.
Great. Thank you, Brandy. Yeah, this StreamYard is a great technology. I really like it.
I agree.
And when they have their ads on Facebook, which now I'm seeing all the time after I used it with you for the first time.
All you got to do is just say the word on
you start seeing it
around you a few times.
It's like 100% loving comments. Everyone's like, "I love this. It works great. It's consistent." Like,
yeah. Even when you read reviews about it online, you find that there's generally favorable discussion about it. And Adam, they said that they can hear you now. So if you're joining us right now, we are going to be debating health and fitness with all the talk about, the foreign policy and government and politics and all this hyphy ass Israel and Palestine shit going on and continuing as it has. I think it's a really good time to find balance with this exact topic, which is a topic that can bring everybody together,
absolutely,
regardless of religion or nationality. And, this diet and fitness topic on figuring out what the most efficient practices are is a topic I think that we should focus on more, because it actually is a topic that can actually bring us together. Well, I mean, a lot of the times it splits us, and when you got like a vegan versus carnivore debate, you got an Israel and Palestine debate, fiery type like that going on. So, Adam, what do you think about that?
I think that gains do not see color or creed or religion or sexual orientation or anything else, and that it absolutely is something that can bring us together, and critical because it's all about energy, and the energy is attempting to be zapped from us through getting us to go through these rabbit holes and look at news items and pay attention to what's happening. All these things we can't control, but that our beliefs about do affect. That's how they can do these crazy foreign policies. They get enough people to kind of believe in what they're doing, so there's not like a march on the headquarters, making them stop. So to the extent that we can come back to our own power, be in our nutrition, be in our weightlifting regimen, which I love, calisthenics regimen, which you love, or some combination, and have our sleep and have our own consciousness and mindset dialed in, it's absolutely critical. Critical always, but certainly critical when there's a big distraction going on.
Yes, indeed. And these topics that we're going to be talking about today are ones that Palestinians and Zionists and everybody to the table to find common ground. The beautiful thing about the calisthenics community, which I'm involved in, is that this is a globally connected community. You got calisthenics dudes in Israel, Palestine. This is actually real.
Netherlands, you
got
everybody.
Netherlands. Yeah. I mean, Dutch calisthenics is actually pretty high level. Y'all got some really good calisthenics athletes from the Netherlands.
The homegirl Melanie.
I was literally about to open my mouth and you just, I was going to say, shout out to Melanie Driesen. You are an epic calisthenics athlete. She's, she shows that women.
You're the one who told me to look her up, so I got to meet her. Yeah, yep. Amazing.
Did you guys actually ever meet?
Yeah, man. We did a whole training together. She was teaching me stuff. I don't have all the fluency like you do with all the different tricks. Just like you don't have all the fluency, I guess, with all the weightlifting equipment right now. You used to be big and strong. You used to be heavy, right?
I used to walk around at about 200 because
that's crazy to me.
I used to do bodybuilding and powerlifting. It was the reason I actually started calisthenics was because I kept injuring myself doing things like deadlifting and, just trying to push the limits constantly. And that's how I got into yoga. That's how I got into calisthenics because I was just trying to find alternatives that could
still be big pasta
wrong, but don't put as much pressure on my body as bodybuilding and powerlifting style weightlifting.
What's up, Penny?
What's up, y'all? If you're just joining us, say what's up. Leave your comments in the chat. We're going to be chatting with everybody and reading your comments as we're doing this.
Drop a comment.
All right, Adam, go ahead.
I just said drop a comment. Hey, what's up, Jackie? How you doing? So absolutely. So I did CrossFit for 2 years, and that was the beginning of my coming back to health. I was always fit my whole life. Then I lost the plot at the end of my Wall Street career. I was on Wall Street for 17 years. So at the end of my trading career, about 2011, I don't know if you know, I was 223 pounds. I'm not as tall as you. I'm only 5'9". What are you, 5'11", 6 foot?
What do you weigh right now?
Right now, I am off-season shape and couldn't walk for 4 months this year shape after getting hit by a car. So coming back.
You recovered from pretty fast.
It's absolutely. And Mr. Ankle's doing great. Hey, I miss you too, Penny. Phoenix. My man, you would love my friend Phoenix here. She used to work out at the gym where I used to work. And she has a lot of aliases making sure no one knows exactly where she's at, like you like. and she believes all the stuff we believe. Hey, what's up, Tori?
Yeah, if you could do me and Adam a favor and give us both a follow if you have not done so already. This video, share it with your friends and leave your comments. Let me know what you want to hear about moving forward. Like I said, we're going to be talking about diet and exercise styles and what is the most efficient route to go down. I believe we're generally
that's me, Coach,
moving towards the right place, both of us. And there are just little nuances here and there. I'm not really an absolutist on any of these ideas because as you see our ideas shift, this time years ago, I was repping plant-based. So, things change.
Things change.
You just have to admit that you can be wrong and always be seeking to debate your own positions. And that's how I've evolved.
Always examine your beliefs. Always picking up new pieces of knowledge and wisdoms. And what I always tell my students is that all pieces of fitness advice, all pieces of nutrition advice are contextual because everyone's body is different, right? Some people, I know vegan bodybuilders that they're plant-based for 10 years and they're ripped and strong and no man boobs. I know other people, veganism depletes their bodies. Okay. So, everyone's body is different. Coming back to my journey.
I actually disagree with that. And those vegans that pretend that they look strong and healthy, they don't look like that all the time. They look like that on their Instagram pictures that are filtered and they're modeling photos, and they don't look like that all the time.
I'll
and
join on
a lot
that.
of those people are not strict vegans. I mean, you'll see vegans, you'll see their supplements, you'll be looking and you're like, that's an animal product, that's an animal product. It's like you don't even know where
Bazinga.
your stuff is coming from. And so I just try to make that one very clear in my position, because these vegan influencers who have good looking bodies, it's aesthetic. It's not functional, and it's not long-term functional. It's not a thing that you can do for long-term optimal functionality. And if you see them, they're constantly eating food. You know, I eat one meal a day. I'm generally carnivore, and it's
What's
just
up,
an
Dave?
inefficient lifestyle. You have to use synthetic lab-made supplements all day, every
Soy
day.
all
You
the
have to
time.
take them, and it's not a natural lifestyle to think that you can use veganism to obtain what you can with a meat-eating diet.
Agreed, Denny.
With a fraction of the efficiency when you're doing it with actual bioavailable essential nutrients, unlike veganism where you're just trying to mimic these bioavailable essential nutrients.
That's already there for you in nature. We got Amir.
Trying to create in a lab doesn't really work as far as bioavailability goes.
I'm with you. Number one, we got my man Dave Vandery here on the chat over there in Netherlands, and he's the guy I competed against at my first competition. So he beat me. I've been beaten 4 times. I have 4 silver medals. So he's the first guy who got the best of me there. So appreciate you, Dave. Good to see you. Number 2, to go along with jabbing those vegans, I see that vegan coach that has a lot of success. He's one of the top vegan coaches. He's in my group of coaches. I see a lot of his student transformations. They don't look like my students look. You know what I'm saying? They don't look they look a little depleted. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
I was a little depleted when we first met too, Adam, and that's when I was starting to come off the plant-based diet. I look at that picture where me and you are together flexing. I'm like skinny, dude. I'm not like that since I've gone carnivore.
How much do you weigh now?
I walk around at 165-ish.
Hi, Alan.
Up and down 170 to 50s.
You're 5'11" or 6 foot?
158 to 170. I'm about
6'1",
6'2",
6'2", big boy.
6'3", I don't know. 6'2". Yeah.
Okay, so
I think I've gained a little bit of height since I've been working so much on extending my spine over the last few years to heal a lot of the injuries that I gained through decades of extreme sports.
So for me, I have obviously I work in that bodybuilder body. So right now I'm 195 at 5'9", and then on stage when I'm ripped, 6-7% body fat, I'm 176, like at 5'9". So just that's kind of the range from that's about right. The range from this calisthenics, gymnastics body to the bodybuilder body, the natural bodybuilder body, of course. That's all that I'm a lifetime all natural, and I don't coach any athletes that take steroids. Not good for you folks.
Yeah, I don't think they're necessary if you have a diet that is high in testosterone producing foods like red meat.
Exactly. So let's talk about red meat, bro. So what are your favorite things about steak? Why do you love it?
Because my biology was designed to handle that food in a highly efficient manner.
I agree.
And
I think that humans became...
It's intuitive.
I think that humans became wise and powerful with the most powerful brains of any animals on the planet because we were eating the largest mammals that were available, right? Through our history. So it used to be saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and whales.
And by that, you mean animals that have a high fat content.
High fat
So
content.
big
Absolutely.
animals. Not
Absolutely.
lean protein animals, animals with massive amounts of fat on them.
And now it's cows and pigs, because we don't have any more woolly mammoths nor any saber-tooth tigers. Yep. And so,
And they
yeah,
usually
man,
do a lot of,
absolutely.
I mean, people still do it, but whale hunting in certain areas of the world is a very good source of fat as well.
Absolutely.
Seafood,
Yeah,
generally speaking.
seafood. Yeah. You eat fish, right?
Yeah, I eat fish. Not as much as red meat, but I try to integrate it in here and there. My problem is that the fishing industry, when you go and buy fish from any grocery store, even if it's the healthy grocery stores, the way that the fish were caught and processed is abhorrent.
Yeah.
And uh, the transparency levels are very hard as well for seafood compared to red meat.
Sure.
So there are certain reasons why I minimize my seafood intake. If I had the access to seafood that could match the levels of the red meat as far as quality goes, then
And
I
you eat
would
more of it.
definitely
It
be
makes
eating
sense.
more seafood. But for that reason, I don't eat it as much as I would like to.
That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely tell my students to gravitate towards the wild caught and the ocean caught versus the farm, fish, for the most part. There are some. I have even been to one, like really well working farms that have very high levels of processes for the fish they do there, but a lot of those farms do not. So
Yeah, I don't even, that's the wild caught is my issue. For me, farm fish is the same as, getting grain fed beef. I just don't really do it,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it's the
yeah,
same with
yeah.
the
Makes sense.
farm fish. It's not even an option really in
For you,
my
I got
thought
it.
process.
Yeah.
So my
A
problem
lot of people
comes with
avoid
the
it.
wild caught seafood,
I got it.
which is extremely environmentally destructive. They're not usually just fishing for one population. They're destroying the sea
Yeah.
and
Catching
separating
catching
out
dolphin
animals.
catching
Yeah,
dolphins in the
yeah,
nets.
catching all these. Yeah, and then imagine this: if the beef that you were eating, they slaughtered it by hanging it by its neck and choking it to death. Would you be down for that?
Right. I
Probably not.
mean, yeah. I see it.
But
Yeah.
it's totally fine to just like choke out all those fish, which is what they typically do. There are some companies now, just like a few, that have this new thing that just electrifies them immediately. But generally speaking, they're just choking them out to death. And that's not, I don't support that. And that's,
Word. Yep. I understand. How did you get into calisthenics, bro? When was the beginning for you?
I actually have it's been about 10 years now. Yeah, about 10 years.
10
I think
years.
I've officially passed. Because what I started doing was when through those injuries that I was having, I was still going to the gym almost every single day and trying to do weightlifting workouts. And that's when I found out what freestyle calisthenics even was, like what a planche is, the 360s and these things. So at the gym, I originally just started going 50-50. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to superset calisthenics into all of my weightlifting workouts. So if I'm doing 4 sets of bench, then in between those 4 sets of bench, I'll do push-ups or pull-ups, depending on what kind of
Nice.
that I was doing in my training that day. Awesome thing about doing calisthenics now too is that I rarely, if ever, train singling out like, okay, today I'm doing biceps and back. Tomorrow I'm doing triceps and chest. Today I'm doing legs. Like it's just
you don't think that way anymore.
calisthenics. It's like today I'm doing everything because my body is one unit, and if I try to disconnect one part of my body, you don't get the movement that you want to do. Like if I want to do a handstand, I can't like use just half of my body. You have to use everything, like everything from your fingertips. Like, so you can't half-ass anything. So that's what I really like about calisthenics workouts, even just push-ups, just regular calisthenics push-ups. Just doing a plank and then doing a push-up is activating your entire body if you're doing it right. And, you'll see if people are watching this and you are doing push-ups and pull-ups, what I implore is that you probably should take a step back to the drawing board, because what I notice is that most people don't know how to do a perfect pull-up or a perfect push-up. And then they're building their bodies on top of this flawed structure. And that's actually, Adam, and let me see what you think.
Please.
Do you think that my idea about this is generally going down the right road? That when we bring in new people to fitness who are just starting their fitness journey and they haven't spent the years prior structuring their body posture, and then they start doing bench press, deadlift, squat, when their body is not properly aligned. So my thought process is, and let me know what you think about this, is that if you're just getting into fitness, you should just focus on yoga and calisthenics workouts for the first few years. And you can integrate weights in like every once in a while here and there for structural things. But for the first few years, it should be body weight workouts to get your body structured and ready for the pressure of weightlifting workouts. What do you think about that, Adam?
I love the thoughts. I don't agree that you can't get started with weights in the first year. I think that you can. However, I will agree with the sentiment in that you need to start with the correct exercises. And that's what I do. Coaching people is get people on the right exercises for where their body is. So you never put a beginner on the barbell back squat. That's the most advanced squatting exercise. And some trainers do that and people can get hurt.
Yeah, first day.
They don't have the body integrity and the connection with their body for an exercise like that. So what do you do first if you're squatting? If you're really a beginner, I've coached some people that are obese, they got issues, but their doctor told them they shouldn't lift weights, things like that, the crazy talk from those frauds. Sorry. And so what do we do first? We do a squat against the wall first, right? Build the form, build the structure, start to get the vertebrae, going here. Then what do we do second? Next, we do an air squat, just a squat against the air, chest up, butt back, learning the proper form. I always tell people it's 1, 2, 3. First is form, second is depth, and third is weight/resistance. You never violate that operative. I teach that all the time.
Yeah, can you actually say that one more time?
Of course, absolutely. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So first is form, second is depth, and then third is weight/resistance, right? So form, if we're just looking at an air squat against the air, 90 degrees on the knees, okay, with the chest up and back
shoulder
straight.
blades rolled back, like Adam,
see people doing squats like this, chest up, butt back, like a standing chair.
A proper description of that is try to squeeze your shoulder blades back. It's like the chest up, like don't like squeeze them back, but like you're pulling your shoulder blades back, because most people are sitting like this all day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the opposite. Absolutely.
Yeah, my issue was people kept telling me chest up like this, but I never rolled shoulder back.
Like,
and squeezed
I would
rhomboids.
say shoulders back first before squeeze rhomboids, but yes, that's all the same.
Yeah. Like a roll from the top into
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
then the barbell will sit really nice there.
You have a shelf for the bar when you do that.
Yeah.
So first is squat on the wall. Second is the air squat. Now on the air squat, the 1, 2, 3, proper form is 90 degrees with the knees and chest up, shoulders back, and butt back like you're sitting into a chair, like taking a dump in the woods. Think about taking a dump in the woods. That's the form that you want. Now then, depth below parallel, still keeping your back straight, but you got to have the proper form to get to 90 degrees with the knees before you can go ass to grass, right? After that's mastered, then we can start grabbing some dumbbells or a bar, right? So yeah, it's very, very important with that to start in the right place where you are. Then after you do your air squat, now you can do a goblet squat. You can go on, you grab a kettlebell in between your legs. And now you're doing a goblet squat, maybe on 2 of those aerobics benches. You're standing in the middle of those. So now you can put the kettlebell below where the floor would be. Right? Then later is the barbell back squat. So that's one thing that I make sure I do for my students is put them in the right position to be successful. Going back to my history, ties right in with this. So I was always fit, was always an athlete. I did gymnastics as a child for 7-10 years, from 5 to 12 or something. I started playing football, tackle football, and started tackle football at 11 years old, 1988. Were you even born in 1988?
Bro, that's so crazy. I was literally born in 1988.
Great. So started playing tackle football then at 11 years old, and did all the sports, all the stuff. Played 14 years of football total through walking on at Rice University and earning a scholarship there the last year. Then I started working on Wall Street. We're still doing the gym. I did adventure races. Did you know that? I did adventure races for a number of years. I did a 4-day race in the British Virgin Islands, like 100 miles sea kayaking and living on a yacht at night. It was crazy. So I did some races. But then I got lost in the me trap, Amir. Became selfish and gluttonous. The me trap. Became self-made millionaire. And I hadn't done all my personal development that I did afterwards to stay a millionaire. And so I ballooned up to 223 pounds at 5'9". Can you imagine what that looked like? Fat head, fat back. That was not good. That was not good. So, and that coincided with being super unhappy in my first marriage. So that marriage ended beginning of 2012. And that coincided with my political awakening. That's when I learned about Ron Paul. It was like 2011, 2012. I didn't learn about what the Federal Reserve was doing until 2011. I had been paid over $5 million by Wall Street, and I didn't know what the Federal Reserve was really doing. I hadn't read The Creature from Jekyll Island. Isn't that amazing? You know the book, The Jungle by Upton Sinclair?
Yeah.
So he says in that book, or one of his books, it's difficult to get a man to understand something when his compensation is dependent on him not understanding it. Right? So it kind of fits. Anyway, so quickly.
That's the argument against government, right? You're not you can't expect the government to abolish themselves or take away their own power from themselves.
No.
You know?
Exactly. So quickly, so CrossFit was the first thing I did to start getting back in shape when I started losing the weight. So that was great. I enjoyed the competitive nature of it. You really need a good CrossFit coach, but the injury level is so high.
I just would not recommend CrossFit at all.
The injury level is so high, and that's not.
Because you know what CrossFit is to me? CrossFit to me is taking the worst aspects of weightlifting and the worst aspects of calisthenics and putting them together and then saying, here's a sport.
Go as fast as you can and compete against the people next to you.
So to the point, you see, like, I'm like, hey, maybe you should take a few years to do yoga and calisthenics. And they're like, and it's my first week. Let's do handstand push-up against the wall.
What?
Like, what do you think's going to happen when you do handstand push-ups when you don't even know how to do it? Like, what?
100%. You're exactly
So
right. So I did that for 2 years and then kept on with the weightlifting journey. I came out of retirement after 18 years and played football again for 2 years in 2017 and 2018, the year that I met you.
you were playing
And
in like
so
another country or something,
I played in
right?
Netherlands.
Yeah.
I got my Dutch team. My coach Imro just won first
Oh,
place. He's 54 years old, bro. 54 years old.
bro, hey, I'm sorry. When you said this is my Dutch football jersey, I
No,
thought European language, so I thought it was like a soccer jersey or
no. This
something.
is my
That's your
bodybuilding. This is my
actual Dutch
bodybuilding.
American football. Oh, that's the
No,
bodybuilding one.
this is
That's the
bodybuilding.
bodybuilding.
This is bodybuilding.
Yeah. That's the bodybuilding. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that's funny. This is my
So
bodybuilding
yeah,
one.
you
Yeah.
mean Dutch. When you say Dutch football, you actually mean like American
Yeah,
pro
I
Yeah.
played semi-pro in Europe. Exactly. The same year I met you. So came out of retirement, and our friend Carrie Wedler, she helped me because I made a post. I said, guys, I got to open my hips up because I was now 39 years old, and doing the things I was doing when I was 22 was challenging. And you know what she told me? She said, do yin yoga. I didn't know what that was really before. And so that was, what I started doing there. And that's why all these things we talk about, calisthenics, yoga, stretching, all this stuff, so critical to complement your strength building journey. And so played for 2 years, got my body back in great shape. And then I started my bodybuilding journey. I started training in 2017 and I competed in 2018 and I competed 3 times. And that's when I really learned about nutrition because I had not tracked my food before. That's when I learned about macros. That's how I can change people's lives, teach them about macros, because when you learn macros, you really learn how to eat for the numbers, how to think about food completely differently. You're eating for what your body needs instead of eating for what's tasty. It's a completely different way to think about it.
Yeah, and just want to expand on yin yoga. I've been doing yin yoga for over 10 years. Awesome. And I recommend yin yoga to everybody. Absolutely. Even if you're not weightlifting, just as something to add into your life. Yin yoga is a style of yoga where, generally speaking, you're holding the stretches, the poses that you're doing for an elongated amount of time. So it's not a power yoga flow class. It's something where you'll go into a lunge stretch for 3 to 5 minutes, for example. Personally, I took the yin yoga practice to the far extreme levels, and that's, kind of connecting it into Shaolin Kung Fu practices as well, holding the stretches for, over 30 minutes. Just sitting in stretches, sitting in the splits for an hour, for example. So if you really want to get mobile and heal your body, yin yoga is a great place to start. Now, there is good science on what's going on in your body when you hold these stretches for this higher amount of time. So when you're holding these stretches and taking deep breaths into your body, it is promoting recovery and healing and building that space in your body. In my thought process, that space is where the healing can do its work. So when your body's super crunched together, it's really hard to heal over if everything's just flowing and your muscles are connected nice, your fascia, your connective tissue are all connected very nice instead of being jumbled up like this. And yin yoga will give you that. So, if you, like I said, it's not power yoga. It's just super relaxing. I've fallen asleep a bunch of times while doing it. So yeah, if you're, if you're getting into weightlifting and you do want to get into the weightlifting, yoga should be supplemented into your lifestyle. And I wouldn't even look at it as this is part of my workout. The way I look at doing these practices, my breath work, my yoga, it's as important as the food that I eat for that day. So I recommend to separate your mindset from that's my workout at the gym, and these are the practices that are going to be just as important for my health as the food that I eat, which is things like
I love
work,
it.
getting natural light, yoga regularly.
Great way to think about it, my man. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's why, for me, helping my students, I'm an online strength and healing coach. And that's where I label myself, strength and healing. So to everything we're talking about. And having tested over 100 natural healing regimens, everything from aromatherapy to avatar tools to rolfing to myofascial release to cold therapies, to ice baths, sauna, steam room, acupuncture, dry needling. There's so many things.
Same. I've gone through the whole, it's like the whole alternative,
all that stuff. But when you have a prescription for you and you trial and error and see what works, it makes all the difference in having that flexible, body. Like, I don't like those bodybuilder bodies where they can't touch their, they can't like reach behind themselves. Like I'm a bodybuilder that's still doing backflips off the bar and handstands, and all that kind of stuff. So it's possible to have an incredible physique and be very strong and also be flexible. And that's actually also how you avoid getting injured and increase your longevity.
Yeah. Could you expand on that a little while I get this?
Yeah, 100%. So what was great about meeting Amir is that Amir was my first calisthenics teacher. So we went to Venice Beach when I was out in California in 2017, and he taught me some stuff. We went to a calisthenics gym as well, and that was the beginning. And then during the immoral, insidious, and insane Dutch lockdowns, which were real. Okay, it wasn't like Florida, guys. It was 2 years of being the only one in the supermarket with no mask on. People trying to fucking coerce me every day, excuse my language. And it was awful. So I just lived outside at a place called Heart Beach. And that's where I got to train with Melanie Dreesen. And we had the calisthenics bars there, and we would just work out there and be outside all the time. And so I started doing a backflip off the bar again for the first time in 30 years. I hadn't done it since I was like 13. And now here I'm 43.
And you used to do gymnastics?
I did gymnastics. So in gymnastics, you do a round off back handspring backflip. You know what that is. And then you do backflips off the bar. And then if you're really good, you can do a standing backflip. But I never really got there. I did standing backflip on the floor in the gymnastics, but you know how the floor is on gymnastics, kind of bouncy. It's not like the sand, right? So I actually did my first standing backflip as a 43-year-old. And that was the first time I'd ever done that, just standing backflip on the sand in the beach there. And so doing all this calisthenics and learning levers and all these stuff and doing flips, it's so good for your body to be able to be more elongated and use these full body motions. And it's beautiful. I was just thinking about this one edit. You probably remember it. There's this one edit that this dude did on one of your videos where the music would just hit so right, and you did this one thing. I think you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess you have a lot of them. Anyway, so yeah, I definitely.
Oh, one of my calisthenics videos?
Yeah, what do you calisthenics videos? Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. There's so many edits. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the cool thing about freestyle calisthenics. You get to like the drops of these epic songs,
Yeah.
It's just like a slow motion 360 in the air, it's that's why I recommend freestyle calisthenics, because it's so fun. Like weightlifting is so boring. Like, oh, cool, now I get to do the same movement over.
Boo, hiss. Boo, hiss.
Yeah, like, so that's the thing. It's like, I guess, I'm very happy that I found freestyle calisthenics. And if you notice, I differentiate freestyle calisthenics with calisthenics, because just regular calisthenics, that's just push up, pull up, like
Sure.
air squats, things like that. But freestyle calisthenics, to the point that you're talking about, it's like that's the really wild stuff. And
Oh, cool. We got a. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's just a lot of fun. But yeah, we got a lot of comments here. If you want to read some of these,
I got Trisha right here. Trisha, the book Body Science by Dave Champion. People should read it. Animal products that aren't processed are 100% bioavailable. Your body wastes none of it, unlike plant matter, which is largely wasted out of the body, along with most of its nutritional benefits. Because it isn't fully bioavailable like meat, most studies are based on erroneous data from a lack of real control trials. Humanity may have been able to survive on grains, etc., because of our ability to adapt, but plant matter, ... Makes sense, right?
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna try to see if we can pull up the whole comment there to see.
Okay, cool.
What she was saying. Let me see.
Trisha's got some good wisdoms. So, comment on, but come back.
Plant matter is not, nor has ever been the optimal diet for humans. It has always been animal flesh, fat, etc. Yeah. Actually, it's important to note that the bioavailability of red meat is not 100%. It's very high. It's not 100 though, but it is still very high. So just a little addition there.
Little tweak.
Yeah, but it's like comparatively to plant foods, it is night and day, like no comparison on bioavailability and bioabsorption of essential nutrients. All right, let's.
Hi, Krista. You're still here.
Yeah.
Say hello Adam, if you guys are on. Go ahead.
So Adam, tell me, like, when you were in gymnastics and training in gymnastics, when you were younger, were you integrating weights to supplement the gymnastics that you were doing?
No, because I was a child. So we don't allow children to lift weights until 15 on their own.
Oh, let me ask you, that's a standard in gymnastics?
That's the standard at gyms. My gymnastics was all body weight. We didn't do any weightlifting, and I don't know that weightlifting is a part of gymnastics. Certainly not for children. I mean,
I just mean, like, if you're doing a hollow body on the floor, like, would you maybe hold weights in your hands?
Oh yeah, no, we
supplementing weights,
hold blocks. Yes, so then maybe hold some blocks, whatever. But yeah, sure, we would do that. Just for kids. We're not really doing resistance training with children, like at 13 when they're supervised, kind of that's when we start. But yeah, when you're 7, 8, 9, then there's no, pretty much there's no way.
Yeah, young kids aren't allowed in a lot of gyms, right?
No, it's all body weight stuff. But I just flashback. How are your splits, by the way, bro? Can you do splits? Front split, side split? Oh, that's right. You're amazing at that. Yeah. So I'm really good at front split. But my side split is still not that great. And I just flash back to, I still have this memory, bro. This must be 37-year-old memory of this coach. I'm doing my side split. And he goes, get this out of my face. So I need to work on the side split a bit more.
It's, that's where yin yoga, the reason my splits, I believe that the reason, all right, I always life trained to be able to do the splits, because as a fighter, I loved kicking when I was younger. Before kicking was cool in fighting, I was kicking and getting made fun of back then. But now head kicks are cool. Everybody loves head kicks now. But 25 years ago, if you were using head kicks, you'd get a lot of shit talked to you. You remember that, Adam? Like, it was just like fist only. Like, if you need somebody, like, why would you do that in a fight? And then a few decades later, here we are. From my martial arts training, I was regularly training to have that kind of flexibility. However, doing handstands now, I can do full over split handstands. And I attribute that to yin yoga. Because if you sit there in a split for 10, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like I said, I've done it for hours before, which, you know, it's very advanced. I don't recommend that to everybody, you know. Just a few minutes. If you did like 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, just sitting there with your blocks, you're going to get that level of flexibility really fast.
It's
and when
very
you're
powerful.
sitting in it, you're doing things like light pulsing,
adjustments,
yeah. You're not like paused for 30 minutes or for 5 minutes. Like you could like move around, kind of like get comfortable, rest. But the point of the exercise, the point of yin yoga practice is to calm your body through the muscles and the connective tissue, essentially calming, releasing themselves. And that calms down your body through that. As a result, you become more flexible.
And this is why recovery is so important. So I'm going to go and disagree with something you said 30 minutes ago on splits. I like training splits, back and bis, chest and tris, and legs. And the reason why that works for people, I also like full body training, is because it allows you to focus on a couple of different muscle groups and allow those muscle groups to rest before you do them again, and to get the overload sensation and really, you know, build the muscles bigger. You know, in calisthenics, the goal is not to have the biggest muscles necessarily. It's to have the best skill set for freestyle calisthenics, and bodybuilding is to have the biggest muscles. So I think that is something good, but it's only good when you do your recovery, when you do your stretching, when you do your yoga, because you need to have that expansion to offset the contraction that you're doing. So that would be my take on that.
Oh yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. Yeah. Let me hear. I'm gonna hop off the. Let's see. We're leaving here. If you're here, go over to these other places. So I'm only doing the IG streams for a little bit, and then.
All right, cool. Bye, everybody. Instagram.
Yeah, bye. So like, you know, I'm bringing people over to these other platforms. Cool, so yeah, no, I mean I agree with what you're saying. Essentially, you need to find balance, regardless of if you're doing the weightlifting or even calisthenics. I mean, calisthenics really tightens your body, and you gotta do the practices to balance it out. Ultimately, what it is when you're in a workout mode, you're stressing your body out. That's where your gains come from, right? So you have to do the practices to find that balance in your body, and from there you will achieve the most efficient health outcomes, because the body, like the body as a system, is something that is trying to bring balance at all times, right? So, you know, it's like you don't go to one extreme or the other. If you do, you're going to have consequences that probably are not going to be very good. And speaking of recovery, I need to take my Specker Deep Recovery here.
Talk about it.
Check out speckerhealth.com. This is my post-workout. Me and Adam both did workouts before we started this stream. So this is my post-workout recovery right here.
And let me tell the people about Specker products. Specker products are fantastic. All made, handmade by the man, Amir here. The best CBD products that you can find. He's got lotions. He's got drops. He's got all kinds of amazing trinkets there for sale for the
at speckerhealth.com.
Speckerhealth.com. So check them out.
And yeah, Adam, if you want to talk a little bit about your business a little more, let people know if they're tuning in right now where they can find you and learn more about the services that you have.
Sure, man. Fantastic. I'm just going to share my screen here so you can bring that up if you like. Maybe we can see that. Don't know. I can show the people.
So yeah, Adam's gonna show you a little some of his results from these health or it's from some of your clients. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just going to show you
Just
my
some,
system.
before and
Yeah,
afters.
I'll do that at the end. Yeah, I'm going to show them how it all works when you bring it up. I should be ready.
Yeah, if you're all watching this right now, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Like this video. Please follow my channel and share this video with your friends. I hope you are gaining a lot of value from this.
Fantastic. Yeah, just bring it up and I'll show the people.
Wait,
yeah,
do I need to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to bring it on the screen.
Are you ready?
Bring it on the. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's up.
Boom.
Yeah.
Actually, that's better.
There we go. Perfect. Ready to go. All right. Incognito. Perfect. So this is the app that I use to help my students. So it's got everything. It's got messaging. Everyone's got their specific plan. Like Tori here, she wanted to get her life aligned and build muscle. So she's got the life alignment and muscle building plan. All the workouts, all the connectivity to the Fitbits and Apple Watch, all that kind of good stuff. So in terms of training plan, everyone gets their own custom workouts with custom names. Like she got the Wonder Woman workout because she's a woman. And because I've got connectivity, you don't have to look up anything yourself. You know, everything is really easy to understand. You've got all the videos here. So you see exactly how to do everything. You see the form, you see the depth, you see exactly how to do everything. You got written instructions, and it's really easy to understand. In terms of some of these progress photos, this is where she was. She was here. She was here. She was here. And, you know, not happy, sedentary for a long time, saving money. And, you know, now she's a brand new girl. Bazinga! We can now see how beautiful she is. We can see her face because she doesn't have the double chins anymore. She's got muscles. The belly's gone. We got muscles coming up over the knees like we want to see on a lady. Beautiful on this quads, upper thigh separation. We now have the hamstring to glute transition, which the ladies want, that peach. And bam, now we're getting cat calls again. How do we manage the nutrition? I have all my students put all their food in the app. You got to track your food. If you're not tracking, you're slacking. How do you know if you're getting enough protein for your body to build muscle if you're not counting? You don't. So like a lot of women here, she was under eating. Okay. So I give them the first 4 days, put it in, no coaching, no guidance. And then they get goals. And then we see here, how did she do here after she got her goals? You get a yellow if you hit your goal. And the next 2 weeks, let's see what kind of accountability that I was able to do. Oh, every single day. What about the next 2 weeks? How about every single day? So, you know, this is what we're talking about, and this is how we get those amazing results. So it's an awesome system, and I've been doing this for 7 years, and we end up with, we just saw Tori's results, also see results like these. This is 1 year, and, you know, we're a brand new girl, okay? We're strong, we're ripped. Do we look bulky here? Of course not. We look gorgeous and strong. Coach men, coach women, and yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. So thank you, bro. All right.
Do you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I still hear you now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
So yeah, I wanted to just go back a little to what we were bringing up just a little before about the calisthenics and the weightlifting. Ultimately, what you ask yourself as an individual is what your goals are. And my goals and Adam's goals are different. I personally don't really give a shit about my aesthetics. Right. If I did, I would weightlift more, and I would do bodybuilding style weightlifting so my bicep here can get more of a whatever. Used to do it already. Did it for like a decade in my life already. And me personally, I want to be able to do a full planche and a perfect one-arm handstand. And those are my goals in fitness, right? So your goal doesn't have to be what my goals are. So my training, therefore, is structured around achieving a certain movement with my body overachieving a certain look. My body looks great as a result of focusing on skill-based training, but is it going to have that perfect bodybuilding Adonis style, shape? No, it doesn't. And that's why when you look at calisthenics athletes and bodybuilders, the shapes are different.
Yeah.
But then the flip side of that is that there are a lot of calisthenics athletes that are at the very high levels that are integrating heavy weight training into their training. And I am going to integrate that into my training once again, once I'm comfortable with my structure in my body. So the reason that I implore patience in the journey of lifting weights and being healthy and reclaiming your health is this is a lifelong journey, right? So, you could jump into it if you want. If you want to be at optimal levels, that's why I say take your time. Because, I've been doing calisthenics and yoga for over 10 years now. And only now am I just starting to feel really comfortable with where I am in my form.
Cool, man.
So I'm a form, I'm hardcore on
so
form.
Important. So important.
So the way I look at it is, if I'm training somebody and I see that your elbow can't straighten itself properly and roll properly, I would literally say you should go take 6 months to a year and go retrain your hands and your elbows and your shoulders to be able to, because it takes a long time to retrain things that are structured in wrong ways, So I would recommend that, because if you want to be lifting when you're 80 years old, again, if these are your goals, if you just want to be kind of healthy and totally fine. I'm training at a professional athlete level generally. And the highest levels, my goal is to figure out how far the human mind and body can go with these physical movements.
Yes.
So if that's not your goal, then that's fine. So that's what I'm saying. It's to decide where you want to go, you have to just decide why you're doing this. So when I start lifting weights, it's not going to be so my biceps and my triceps and chest get bigger, so that I can put on more load in my static workouts, ring training, for example. So in my mind, I'm viewing this as a decades-long training plan for myself. And again, I don't think that most people really give a shit to do that. And you don't have to do what I do to be moving towards optimal health. As we saw with your clients, Adam, you can move towards feeling the best in your life without training at the highest levels. Actually, I would say that when you train at very high levels, you have to do so much more recovery work to keep that balance in your body. And most people, if you don't have, it's a time constraint. If you don't have that much time,
yeah, exactly.
For me, I'm doing breath work and yoga and training my exercises. That's multiple hours every single day. You got a full-time job where you got to drive back and forth, multiple kids, things become difficult. And that's why my recommendation was earlier with the essential practices. For me, my essential practices before doing my calisthenics training is yoga and breath work. So, I make sure that I'll have time to do my yoga and breath work if I know I won't have time to do all of those things. So again, you have to just decide where you want to go and where you want to start, how long you want to be doing this. I think the best place to go is just to find balance between weightlifting and bodybuilding. Between calisthenics and weightlifting. And I think that they're very complementary as well.
Yeah.
I take my calisthenics, freestyle calisthenics is literally the far extreme.
The highest high.
Just
like going on
360 or a 720. People are doing 1080s now. Backswing 1080s in freestyle calisthenics. So, I think that a very efficient style for the average person to do is to find a nice balance between the styles and listen to your body to find out what you should be doing for that day. Some days I'm like, damn, man, I really want to like lift something heavy today. And I'll do that. I'll go and lift.
Cool.
And my lifting, it's like not bodybuilding, like it's not bodybuilding with weights right now. It
Mm-hmm.
will be in the future, again, in that like similar go to the gym. Right now, it's just like, hey, there are these like heavy logs on the ground, lift them up, like
whatever.
something that
the
like,
world is our gym.
Yeah, like so you want to like because so yeah, there's always a balance. There's no absolute. And if you do take one of the two absolutes, you're going to be in actually a very inefficient state. Because if you look at the guys who just focus on bodybuilding or powerlifting, and then you look at the guys that just focus on only calisthenics, you find that there's so many imbalances that exist between the groups. I mean, you could look at a lot of freestyle calisthenics people's legs, and, you know, like you see how
underdeveloped
disproportionate they are to the upper body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, like I say, I'm not focused on aesthetics as a primary driver. However, if my body is disproportionate, that is saying something. Those are red flags. Like maybe there's a lack of blood flow going to that area. You know,
yes. There could be an electrical problem. You know, you're into chiropractic too, right? Yeah. So I've spent tens of thousands on chiropractic, had American football injuries and snowboarding falls.
I've gotten that'll be for a next where I give.
We can do a whole live on. We can do a whole live on.
I got some opinions.
Upper cervical chiropractic I got into, it's critical to have the electricity working, because that's a big one that hurts people's bodies. They don't realize they've got something going on in the atlas and axis. It's affecting their digestion. It's affecting some other place. They have no idea what that is unless you do a scan. So I loved all of what you just said. And it's cool.
Yeah. Can I really quick just add on to that about the electricity? No, I want to add on to what you're talking about electricity. And if you know what things like calcium, sodium, potassium, which most people know these are structured in your body around electrical currents. That's why, like, you can look into ion channels, voltage gated ion channels, like voltage gated potassium channels. Like, these are currents that are going through your body that are working directly with your essential nutrients in your body that keep you alive and functioning. And they're directly interconnected. So what Adam's saying is not like some, holistic, doesn't have science. This is basic biology. The electrical currents running in our bodies is basic biochemistry.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to add that on there.
And you got to protect your body by understanding all these different things. And, you got to get some mentors like Amir, like myself, that can teach you. Speaking of protection, it's also good to be able to protect your family, with what's all going on. So, make sure you got your all your protections, going on. So, okay, cool. So he's in California. So anyway, to do the foil of what you just said, and this is another topic, is that you and I have taken the extremes of both of these. You've taken the freestyle calisthenics to the highest level, and I've taken the bodybuilding to the highest level, going on stage. That's the highest level of bodybuilding, right? Of aesthetics. And so, to complement what you just brilliantly said, if your goal is aesthetics and your goal is lifetime strength and longevity and balance and symmetry, then you need to do stuff like calisthenics and recovery also. It's not the focus, but it's something that you supplement, just like Amir's focus is the calisthenics with the weightlifting as the supplement. So that just works completely in tandem. And no matter where you want to be, you just need it's just like GPS in the car. Like, if you just say, hey, I want to go to to Kansas from Florida and you don't have any map, how are you going to get there? You got no GPS. You got to know where you're going, and then you have to have a plan to get there. And once you have those two things, then you can execute your goals.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Carbs. You got to talk about that.
Yeah. I actually wanted to so the whole counting macros thing, I wanted to talk about a little because my philosophy on health is what kind of information can I give to the average person to live the healthiest lifestyle possible in the easiest ways possible. This is why I do recommend carnivore, because when you go strict carnivore or generally strict carnivore, my personal recommendations for people who are starting on health journeys is, hey, if you go carnivore, you don't need to count your macros. Your counting is you eat whatever you want, whenever you want. We'll generally pick this window of time, but don't eat at 4 a.m. or something, maybe before you go to sleep, maybe, but generally you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as it's an animal product.
Yes.
And that general blueprint is what I recommend to people. However, to the point of what you do, Adam, with counting macros and showing people the exact way to do these things and what results in what, I already know how to count macros when I say this. So in my mind, I'm already kind of counting macros where I'm like, I don't want to have 95% protein. I need to make sure that my macros here with 0 carbs is about a balanced ratio of protein to fat. So, I recommend to people to you don't need to focus on it, but you need to learn it still. And that's why what you're doing with people, with your clients, is really good, because it just teaches them the general blueprint. My thought process is learn the base level, and then you can, and I'm sure with your clients, you'll provide a little more freedom and stuff as they make their gains,
Absolutely. Yeah,
so, it's kind of it's depending. If you want to count your macros, you'll probably get to the desired results more efficiently. If you don't, and you want to just go strict carnivore and just eat whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as it's an animal product within a certain window of time, you could do that too. You'll get desired outcomes either way. So I've been recommending that to people recently. But those are not clients or anything that I work with. It's just somebody I'll talk to, a friend or a family member. And it's hey, generally speaking, if you do this, you don't have to think too much about it.
Right.
But if you do want to worry a little more about your health, then, you hire somebody like Adam. So,
well, I got the perfect follow-up for that. I love what you said. Here's the reason why what Amir said makes complete sense from another completely different perspective. So I do believe, like you, that there are only 2 essential macronutrients. We have our micronutrients, which is our minerals and vitamins. Very important. We have our macronutrients, protein, fat, and carbs. Now, remember, carbs didn't exist for humans in the way they do now until there was agriculture, right? All there was to eat was fat and protein, because you're just killing stuff, right? And grabbing stuff off the tree until there was agriculture. So there wasn't carbs the way there have been in the last 100 years before. And our bodies
many of these carbs were literally created, hybridized the last 1,000 years.
100%. So our bodies have an innate off switch for both protein and fat. Now, I've seen keto taught everything the way that my coach teach it. My coach is Brandon Carter. He teaches me how to coach my students. He coaches the coaches. He teaches keto, and I actually reference you without saying you on all the time, Amir, because I tell people that I've seen keto taught everything from 25% protein, 70% fat, 5% carbs, which is how Brandon teaches it, to how Amir teaches it, which is 50-50-0. Amir teaches 50% protein, 50% fat, 0% carbs. Okay.
I say, okay, I just want to just clarify on that. I think that's a general rule of thumb to go 1-1-0 if you're going down the keto route. And yeah, to your point, I don't hear or know of anybody off the top of my head that recommends the 1-1-0.
That's what you do. You're the only one that
I do.
You're
That's
the only one
pretty
that
specified to me. I've gone down though the road of testing personally over my years of different keto blueprints, different carnivore blueprints. I would say carnivore is just a sect of keto. It's just a keto blueprint. It's one type of keto blueprint. So this is how I think it should be generally viewed: is some days I feel like I need more protein. Some days I feel like I need more fat. Some days I feel like I could maybe use some carbohydrates.
And you'll eat those. You're not a
carb cycle. Yeah.
You're not a Bitcoin maximalist. You're not a Bitcoin maximalist.
I try to be it's all about homeostasis and metabolic flexibility. So you don't want to be too deep into one feeding state in your body. You want to be able to find balance. But the 1-1-0 is something that I've personally felt through my trials of macro ratios in keto, that the one that produces the most efficient long-term results, the most efficient strength results. Also, it's important to note that, for example, I base this off of our biology as well. It's not just what feels better for me. I'm like, okay, biologically speaking, our omegas need to be balanced. Like 3-6, a 1-to-1 omega 3-6 ratio is what is going to generally be leaning towards. Right now, Americans have about a 16-to-1 omega 6 to omega 3 diet. And most doctors, when you talk to them and ask them what is the healthiest ratio of omegas, they'll say 4 omega 6 to 1 omega 3 generally. And a lot of, I guess in their mindset, it's like, well, how do you even get to 1-1? You can't if you have carbohydrates, essentially. So because when you have those carbohydrates, this is very important to know, actually. Carbohydrates are super high in omega-6 fatty acids. And that's the problem of having this really high plant-based diet and not balancing it out with things like red meat, which have a very balanced omega ratio, is that as a result of eating all these plant-based foods, your omega ratio gets imbalanced. And, so ultimately that's where my thought process comes. Taking it down to the very premise, though, it's the endocannabinoid system. I'm basing every dietary choice that I make off of the endocannabinoid system, which is the master regulatory system of the human body. And to the point that you brought up earlier, there are essential nutrient requirements for protein, for fats. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate requirement for humans, which means you can survive and thrive without ever having them. That being said, when you're doing protein and fat, that is essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. What are the essential carbohydrates? The essential glucoses? Gluconeogenesis that converts those compounds to the glucose. So that's what people say, like, I need glucose. It's like, well, what is gluconeogenesis then? That's what I ask people. Like, oh, you need glucose? What is gluconeogenesis? So actually, if you're listening to this right now and you think that you need glucose from outside sources, research gluconeogenesis.
Cool.
Adam?
I love it, man. So that's I love the thoughts, man. It makes sense. So the point I wanted to make earlier is that our bodies have, because there's only two essential macronutrients, our bodies have a built-in off switch for those two. Your body, like, you can't eat 7 avocados, right? Because your body won't let you eat. It just says that's enough. I'm done. You can't eat 4 steaks at once.
But you can eat a full pizza,
but you
right?
can eat a whole bag of chips. You can eat an entire cake. See the bing. Important point here. That's why you got to track your macros when you're eating carbs. Carbs do serve a purpose for filling out the muscles. They're involved with, like you said, the glucose, which is what the brain utilizes for energy, fiber, metabolism stuff, your mood, blood sugar levels, hunger. They fill you up. There are some, and it's just also just part of what's out there socially, right? So it's in terms of what can people actually execute. If they've got a budget of carbs, then they can still go to social stuff and still interact with other people, and it makes it just easier to just manage life.
Which is why I recommend being metabolically flexible. If you want to have a city person life and have a social life and have a drink or a slice of pizza or a burrito every once in a while,
you got to be balanced.
Having metabolic flexibility is very important. That's why I can just go eat a fat burrito maybe once a few times a year or something and just be totally fine. My body can digest it properly. I won't get sick. And that's a very big problem of anybody who takes both styles to the extremes. If you go super deep into ketosis, then your body's not going to have the enzymes available to break down the carbs. If you're eating all carbs, then your body's not going to have the enzymes to break down the animal.
And this is what's crazy about the food pyramid, this average American diet. If people don't know, the average American diet is 50% carbs. That's insane to me. So what I do for my students is something in the middle, not 0, not keto, not 50, which is why there's 45, 50% obesity here. It's 20, 25. So and everyone's got specific ratio macro targets that are my students. Something like maybe 35% protein, 25% carbs, 40% fat. Now, taking it to another level, which carbs? All carbs are far from created equal. All animal products, doesn't matter if you're eating bison, elk, moose, steak, chicken, bacon, fish, doesn't matter. Eggs.
I would say they're slight. The animal nutrients are so cows. The reason that cows are the highest efficiency for red meat is because they've been bred to fit our bodies in the most efficient ways for the fat protein intakes that we need. So, for example, like chicken compared to red meat, you'll generally be generally what you're saying, you'll be on the right side.
Yeah.
But for example, you can't survive off of just rabbits, you get protein, So you need to have fats in your diet 100%. Of animals essentially. So just wanted to add that.
Please. Thank you. No, it makes complete sense. But that range of window,
it's more similar than it is carbs.
If we're talking quinoa or sweet potato and donuts,
and then broccoli and then strawberry, those are all digesting and metabolizing. Those are all carbohydrates, and those are all digesting and metabolizing differently. To the point you brought up, that's the macro nutrient of it. That's the main macro. But when you break down a macro and go into micros, then you start getting the different micros. Those micros still build up into a carb, but they're different 100%. Micros.
And you want to make sure you're getting all those vitamins and minerals that you need. Is critical. I have all my students take. I only have them do 2 supplements: creatine, which puts the water, this intracellular water and extracellular water. Extracellular water is the water in between your muscles and your skin that makes you look flabby. And intracellular water is what's the water in your muscles. So you want to have as much intracellular water as possible and as little extracellular water as possible. You want that ratio to be a certain way. Creatine helps with that, helps you be stronger. It forces you to drink more water. And everyone watching, people say, Adam, do I need to track my water? No, you don't. You just need to track the output. If your urine is not clear, you are dehydrated. Let me say that again. If your urine is not clear, you're dehydrated. Drink more water. Everyone needs to drink more
And
water.
also, you can mineralize your own water with things like Redmond's Real Salt instead of buying those synthetic electrolyte packs from companies. You could just go
Brondo
buy
has
yourself.
electrolytes.
Huh?
Brondo has electrolytes. Idiocracy.
Yeah, if you know, you know what that quote is from.
Exactly. So yeah,
what's
this is
the other
this is the
supplement
way.
that you recommend?
So creatine and then magnesium pills. So magnesium is a part of 200 reactions inside the body. So it's one of the things. It's a bit deficient in the American diet. So you don't need to have a full cabinet of supplements. You need to eat whole foods. You need to eat animal products. I'm a big believer in like leafy greens and berries, things like that. And you can get everything you need just from whole foods. But you need creatine and you need magnesium. Those are the two supplements I have my students take. And then you get your blood work done. If people don't know, cell saturation. Exactly. That's right, Jackie. Jackie's been with us the whole time. Jackie, this is Amir. Amir, this is Jackie Ray.
Yo.
If you guys are not Facebook friends, then you should be. You should add him on Facebook, Jackie, if you haven't already.
Yeah, which I do not use, by the way. So check me out on Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube at Amir Zen Official. Actually, Adam, this is some stuff I wanted to talk to you about before, but we just haven't had a time to have a conversation about these supplements and just some of these things that you mentioned that I don't talk about too much, but I'm talking about more and more now that we're, just talking so deeply about these health topics. So first, I just want to give my view on health and where my mindset is and share with you just certain information that I adhere to now. So you mentioned fiber. I think fiber is an anti-nutrient. Fiber does more harm than it does good for your body. I would highly recommend that people remove fiber from their diets. And the next thing, leafy greens. Leafy greens are going to do more harm than good. Go use that money and go buy more red meat. Creatine and magnesium are not real creatine and magnesium. They're synthetic pseudonutrients that are created in labs. So if you just eat more red meat,
you get more
it's
creatine.
very abundant in creatine and magnesium. I've taken every magnesium supplement type there is. And one thing I've realized, now this is, again, I haven't talked to you about this, Adam, yet. And this is over the last 2 years. I've been restructuring certain ideas.
We don't have to agree on everything.
Yeah, again, this is, remember, I want people to live the most affordable, easiest,
this is
most
what I'm
efficient
talking about.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Magnesium, creatine, that shit's expensive, man. You can go spend that money on more steak. Which is, so again, I'm just saying what I'm doing now. I used to I tried taking every magnesium pill, every type, glycinate, threonate, like all of them. See and then this is why I call them synthetic pseudonutrients, because it's not really magnesium and it's not really creatine. They're mimics of a nutrient, and it's not possible to fully mimic the genetic code of a natural compound in a lab. And as a result, you'll never achieve the efficiency of those supplements or those nutrients from food. Now, here's my next position on this is the only supplement that I would recommend is CBD, single only supplement. And that's why I don't sell creatine with Specker, even though I've highly considered it. That's why I don't sell magnesium either, even though a couple of years ago I was looking for magnesium wholesalers to start getting samples to potentially integrate it in to my product line.
Yep.
And the reason I took a step back and said, look, why would I need to go to the branches when I'm here? CBD helps regulate and balance these systems in highly efficient ways in comparison to what these synthetic pseudo-nutrients do. Do I think that there is validity to creatine and magnesium pseudo-nutrients? And do you see, I'm like making sure because I think it's very important to start talking about. I'm a product formulator, right? I'm a formulation scientist. So I have to know how creatine was made. I have to know the biosynthesis of magnesium to be magnesium glycinate over being magnesium threonate. It's chemistry. It's just different synthetic things that you do in a lab. And is there validity? Yeah. The research shows it.
Yeah, that's my point.
You know, like creatine, for example, is a highly researched compound. However, the amount of research on CBD and cannabinoids is far greater. And if you want to go look, you can go type in creatine monohydrate or magnesium threonate, magnesium glycinate, whatever type of magnesium you take, and then go type in CBD or cannabinoid or THC. You know, I'm big on phytocannabinoids. So CBD and THC are pretty much my main two. My thing is that what I discovered through my years of research on the endocannabinoid system is, what's the primary regulator of the magnesium channels? It's your endocannabinoid system. So if my endocannabinoid system is out of whack, and then I'm taking these magnesium supplements, which is going to the root, it might not even be going through the channels efficiently. So I know you have your reasons for, you brought up the reasons for recommending those things. I would say the first place to start would be CBD. And like I said, I haven't talked to you about this before because I actually wanted to talk to you about experimenting with yourself on doing like a just CBD as your only supplement for a month and seeing how it does in comparison. Because like I said, only a few years ago, I was taking magnesium supplements every day. So
it's an evolution, man. You know, this is why we're having a debate. This is the cutting edge stuff.
So I'm just because now that I'm confident with myself and having talked to other athletes who just integrate, say, just CBD, just THC, or both, I'm just starting to think more and more that the requirement for synthetic pseudonutrients is a pharmaceutical scam.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And I think it's cool that we each have different ways to try to be able to make things achievable for people. How can we get some results? How can it fit into their life? You know, not everyone works for themselves from home like you and I do. Serious athletes competing at the highest levels. You know, and willing to eat a steak as much as you and I are. I have some students that don't eat steak, so they're not getting.
I eat like 1 to 2 pounds of red meat every day, and then it's like there's some people who are like, I don't want to eat red meat, and you still have to figure out how to get them.
I still got to get them some creatine somehow. You know what I mean? So I got to have that solution for them. But I love everything you said.
Let's expand on that a little because that's really important. So it like, for example, and you see in a lot of foods, it'll say fortified with iron and vitamin C and fortified, because to your point, the average American diet is lacking so many essential nutrients that even getting that massive low bioavailability of a synthetic magnesium supplement
still can be huge, can be great.
However, that being said, you can't use that as the single source, and you still need animal products, or else veganism would actually work, right?
Makes complete sense. Totally agree. We're really on the same page.
And that's why they call it a supplement. So like you could 100%. Supplement it in, and that's the same thing with CBD. For me, it's like endocannabinoid deficiency is the root cause of arguably all health and disease. So if your endocannabinoids are out of whack, then you're going to. So essentially, the CBD is a supplement. You're using it to supplement into your body.
Exactly.
So it gives your endocannabinoids a rest. It could help strengthen your endocannabinoids as well. So that's the thing with like if you're trying the health road too, it's important to think about where your supplements actually came from. This is actually something, like I said, Adam, it's something that I'm freshly discussed more on video because I'm more confident in what I'm saying now compared to when I first discovered it, which I like to usually do. I don't put out ideas that I just like 2 months ago learned about. Like I usually,
that's on yourself for a while. Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Like you got to like make sure if you're going to say something to the world that there's some validity to it, you know? So my thought process is that, and just something for everyone about, something about a lot too. When you look at how pharmaceutical drugs are developed and when you look at how the average fitness supplement is developed, same suppliers, same people, same processes. So I've been looking at this synthetic supplement industry or as I don't want to say like a big pharma psyop.
Yeah.
Of like, not so much a psyop or more of
agenda.
Man, we got a lot of byproduct here that we got to figure out how to do something with.
Yeah, exactly.
And they figure out how to utilize their petroleum byproduct or their corn byproduct.
It's the hot dogs of the nutrition space. The leftover
there
stuff.
You go. That's so yeah, and that's the thing. Like, hey man, if you eat a hot dog, you're probably still gonna get some nutrients, right? Like you'll
not so efficient.
But generally speaking,
if you
get some grass finished steak, you know, you'll so it's the same better. As it's that mindset where like, yeah, if you can't because to your point, I have to eat a lot of red meat to be getting these nutrients. I have a lot of raw dairy in my diet so that I
just started doing raw milk the last 2 months. I love raw milk now. It's delicious.
Actually, let me add something into this. Let's talk about this for a second because it's something I've been all right, so raw milk. Let's just talk about milk real quick. So a lot of people will say that they don't feel good when they drink milk. When you remember I said I have to know what's going on behind the scenes for ingredients. So milk is no different. It's an ingredient. When you get milk, even the raw milk, they're taking cream away from it, separating the cream, and then they'll sell the cream separate and then sell the milk. When you drink milk directly out of a cow, the fat protein ratio is different than when you're drinking processed milk that was separated so they can sell you the cream in one bottle.
Pasteurized.
Even raw. When I buy my raw milk from Raw Farm in California.
Oh, cool.
I buy one bottle of their cream and then one bottle of their milk, and they separate them. What I do, I buy the cream and the milk, and then I'll just
put it back together,
cream back together, and then mix it up so that the milk isn't harming your body with the high influx of sugars that are left over without the fat content there to be able to lighten the load of sugars. And there's good research.
I got to get that done. Cool.
That when you have protein and carbohydrates, when you have protein and fats with your carbohydrates, it can help lighten the load of the damage that the carbohydrate could do to your body. So that goes for milk as well.
Very cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's
it's something that I recently, I started watching these videos about how my cream and shout out to Raw Farm that they have these videos on their YouTube channel. So they're really transparent. And that's the beautiful thing about transparency, that, maybe the companies don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Cause I just put that together because I realized I'm like, hey man, why do I feel so much shittier when I drink this milk that I buy that's from the store compared to when I've had it directly from the animal before? When it's like, when you get it directly from the animal, it's rich, right?
Yeah.
So I started realizing, I'm like, why is my milk so watery? So I realized, like, oh yeah, there's still, I'm not saying when Raw Farm, they still have a fat content in the milk,
of course
they separate some of it too. And Jackie just said kefir. Kefir is actually it's fermented with grains, so it's technically processed dairy in that regard. And I also, when I have my dairy, try to focus more on the dairy that's more balanced. So when you have cheese, for example, cheese
Our
is a
pleasure,
very
Jackie.
good balanced ratio of proteins to fat, which
Yeah.
finds that balance that we were talking about. So in my mind, this is what I refer to as a perfect food, like eggs, cheese,
Bacon.
fatty steak. Perfect food to me is something that has a 1-1-0 balance of fat, protein, carb. But to the point of carbohydrates, it's important to note, I just brought up milk sugars. Those are carbohydrates. Liver, if you eat liver, that has carbohydrates in it as well, actually. So, when I say like you go carnivore, it's technically, if you're eating just ground beef or something every day, then yeah, you'll be zero carb. But if you want to have some milk, if you want to have some beef liver, you're going to be getting carbohydrates in your diet one way or another.
Yeah.
So, when we say zero carb, it's like
it's a guideline.
It's generally speaking, but it's important to note that you do have carbohydrates in certain animal products, to the point that you brought up earlier about the differences between the plant carbohydrates. Like, they're animal carbohydrates as well.
Sure. 100%. It's awesome.
Or
man.
sugars, which is a carbohydrate. So yeah.
We're here at 95 minutes. We should probably do our closing remarks. This has been amazing. Time's flown by. I want to hear more about Specker. Can you show us a little Specker business stuff? You got a little screen share for us, bro?
Yeah. So, before we finish off, I just wanted to share a little of Specker's new website. We have the new Specker Health Assessment. And I just want to pull that up real quick for everybody to see. So if you're watching this right now, check out speckerhealth.com. The link is going to be in the description of this video. And if you're watching and you want to learn more about Adam, his information will also be in the description, so you can learn more about the awesome stuff that he is.
Greek Physique team.
Well. Yes, sir. All right. So let me just pull this up real quick. So I just want to show you all. I've been working on this pretty damn hard over this last year, building the new Specker library and let's see if that's shared. Boom. Perfecto. So this is speckerhealth.com right here, y'all. If you see, you could take the new health assessment, and the health assessment will make it easy for you if you're just looking at the screen right here. How are you feeling today? Beginning your journey to improving your health today. So I developed this health assessment so that you can go in and find which Specker products fits best lifestyle, so you don't have to, put too much time and effort into it. Because Adam, as I was saying earlier, my biggest thought with health is to make things as accessible, easy, and affordable for everybody. And as we're talking about, we're on the extremes, but just because we're on the extremes doesn't mean that you can't go down the road of optimal health, because we're just at the extremes of optimal health. And if you see here, it'll give you a description of exactly why it's telling you to choose these products. And then you could just check out right there, add these into your shopping cart, check out and save. You can get an email of your results as well. And from there, you could just get your product delivered right to your house. And we ship products anywhere across the United States. So if you're anywhere across the United States, please support us. And also, you could also check out the Specker library right here, which I've been developing over this last year, which has summaries of scientific studies involving all the ingredients that we use in Specker products, health, lifestyle. If you want to go read scientific studies on breath work, calisthenics, diet, topics that we've been talking about tonight. You want to read BD, for example, all over here. These are summaries of scientific studies that are written by myself. And the point of writing these summaries is so that you, who might not have a background in science, can go read about these scientific studies in detail, but in ways that are easily understood without the science talk, the big science words. Because if you see here, when you read these studies, it's there are a lot of weird words that just people who don't do this for a living might not know. Patient reported outcomes measurement information system. Sleep disturbance SF8A. These are just things that if you go and read a study, you're gonna be like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, this is so hard to understand. So I developed the Specker library where I go in, I'll read those scientific studies for you, and then I will essentially summarize them into what I call normal speak, and make it so that you can start learning more about these topics yourself, so you can reclaim your health and really be the first and final authority for everything involved in your own personal health. So there are a lot of different studies here. Again, like I said, in regards to the things we were talking about today, for example, you can find a lot on different cannabinoids, but like I said, I do every type of summary here. I'm trying to diversify to different ingredient, health, and lifestyle topics. So, this one study finds tuna canned in water has higher omega-3, while tuna canned in oil has higher omega-6. So, just trying to make it, we'll just end that, just trying to make it really accessible for everybody to learn the information that separates the medical authorities and medical establishment from everybody else. Because as I'm sure you'll go to the doctor throws out a bunch of big ass words, and you're just like, dude, I have no idea what half those words that guy just said. Just whatever, man. Just tell me what I need to take. I'm good. So then they take it and they're like, dude, why didn't this thing work? Why do I have these side effects? My doctor didn't tell me this. The Specker library is there so that you can start your journey on understanding this science yourself. And then at the end of every summary, you could actually just go and click the link to the study. So you can actually read the study yourself. If you are well-versed in scientific lingo, then just go read it yourself. That's going to be longer, but going to the primary source is always
great
always
work,
be
man. You must have worked really hard on that, putting that together recently. Good job.
Adam, let me tell you, I had to look at the screen so much for so many months, which I don't usually do because I'm practicing what I preach. So maximize time in natural light, minimize time in artificial light. So what me and you are doing right now is artificial light. So I'm gonna go out after this, even though it's dark outside. I'm gonna
go walk the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just want to, even if it's dark light, you still want to be getting the natural rays of outside over the energy that's coming at you from the artificial lights that are in front of us. So yeah, I put a lot of hard work into it. I continue to summarize scientific studies. So if you're watching this, if you have any studies that you want me to read and summarize, send them over to me. So yeah, Adam, I think this is a very good place for us to end. I am live streaming multiple times a week, everybody. So if you want to follow me and check out more of the streams, you could check me out on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble at Amir Zen Official. And hopefully Mr. Adam Williams will be joining us very frequently in these streams. And we are going to get my channel to 1 million followers by 2025. So please support me in that journey. Adam, do you have any final words before we head off for the night?
Just want to say thank you for organizing this again. It's been great. You can count me in for once a week, bro. I will be here with you. I love these great content. You and I together is awesome. We have a lot of respect for each other, and we got little different viewpoints on same stuff, generally same direction. So it's great debate. And again, everyone's body's different. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's background's different. people. I have one student. I have one student that's on like kind of a pure keto. He's on 5% carbs. Why? He's got type 1 diabetes. So his body really doesn't do well with carbs. Okay. So everyone's got a different situation. All pieces of it.
Goal oriented. If you're trying to cure a disease, like you really need to just cut the carbs out for that time. Just cure your disease, and then you could just start reintroducing the things that might have caused that problem.
Everyone's got all pieces of advice are contextual. So yeah, please follow me as well on Instagram at Adam N Williams, all one word, and then here on Facebook, Adam space N period space Williams. If you would like to join the Greek Physique team and build some muscle in your best healed body, then just DM Nude Lifestyle and I'll get my application form over to you. And I'm going to see you again here next week, brother.
Awesome. And I just want to finish off reading Jackie's comment here. I love the passion exhibited here, guys. Have enjoyed it. I'm sitting here like, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. Adam, I'm thinking these nuanced conversations we're having are pretty awesome. And I'm thinking we should, I've been wanting to do like little panel discussions and stuff and find more common ground with people who are, a little outside of our nuances and see if we can also find
keep learning
those people as well. Because the goal here is to bring Americans together, to bring all individuals together with common goals of peace, love, happiness,
and fitness.
Yes, sir. All right. So we will see you again very soon. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love.
Good night.
Let's go.